Hi everyone, my name is Rhiannon from Blue Dog Board Games, and today we're going to be doing a solo playthrough of a wonderful logic game called Tiwanaku. So I personally find that Tiwanaku is a bit of a board game version of Turing Machine. So Turing Machine is like your 15-minute logic game that you want to play when you have like a short amount of time. This one is like a 45 to an hour long experience, and you're sort of using the same part of your brain as you would in Turing Machine, but it is very much a more drawn out experience and a little bit more in depth. But anyway, I'm not going to go through how exactly we play it. We're going to be learning as we go, and we're all set up ready to go, so let's get going. So I say we're all set up ready to go. We're actually not, but I thought it was important for you to see how exactly the board is sort of set up so we can start to understand the logic rules and how this plays. We're going to be playing on scenario number 7 today, and it's important to know that this is the retail version, and so I have less scenarios than the Kickstarter version of the game. But I haven't found that to be a problem. I was worried about that, but I really don't think it's an issue at all, because this game can be played solo, it can be played competitively, and it can be played cooperatively. And it's important to note that if you're playing solo or cooperatively, you can only play the larger scenario. So this board is double-sided. You've got like I think it's is it 5x5 grid on the other side, whereas this one's a lot bigger, so it's going to take longer. But anyway, we have got our scenario disc here, and we're playing scenario 7, and you will see that we have 4 different terrain types here, and we're going to be discovering the terrain types as we go around the map and what crops are going to be available on them. And unfortunately, I've had to cut a little bit off here, but we've got crop tiles of different sizes, so there's crops of 1 to 5. And basically, we're going to set this up here. So this is saying that we have a grass in the top left corner. We have a crop of value 4 on that one, and there is a meeple of our automa or our opponent. We're going to be green today, and our opponent has everything else, so he's going to sit there, and we're going to be scoring bits in a minute, but I'll go through how this sets up first. So this one goes here, the mountainous region. We've got a crop tile of value 1 here, but there's no meeple on that one. We've got 2 mud tiles here, and they go here and here. Got another value 1 crop with a meeple on there, and a value 4 here. And then we got grass down here, and that's a nice value 5 crop. And then finally we've got 2 mud and a sand, so let's do that. Mud, and a sand. And we have 2 1s, 1, and a 3. And then our final meeples, just in case you can't see, the meeples are, you can actually see them on the little squares. So basically, we are going to be exploring this board, finding what terrain tiles there are, as well as what crops are going to be on these tiles, and the automa already starts with some of these discovered. Now, during the game, we're going to be scoring points for discovering terrain, so diversifying our terrain discovery, as well as divining and discovering what crops are growing on these tiles. So we're going to be having a look at this board here. This is where we're scoring, and we have different tracks here that we're going to be moving up according to what terrain we're discovering at the time. So we are scoring points every time we discover something new according to where our marker is. So if it's at space number 2, we've discovered 2 different terrains of the same type. We're going to be scoring a point for every other marker that's on the same level as us. So let's have a look at that now. So we're actually scoring for the automa first. And this isn't distinguished in the rulebook, but I have seen it online since on another forum. But it's important to know that the automa does not start with any points at all. 0 points is down here, and we actually, as a player, start at 10 points. So it's important to know that they do not start with anything at all. They're going to be scoring some bits now. So they're going to be scoring for every terrain tile that they have discovered, as well as the crop that they have at the moment as well during setup. So for example, they have discovered a grass tile here. So we're going to be working left to right. So we're going to be pushing up 1 on their grass track, and they have the only marker at the moment on stage number 1. So they score 1 point for 1 marker. They also have discovered a crop of value 4, so they get 4 points for that. So hang on, we've got 1 point there for their grass, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 for their crop number 4. They have no other meeples here, but here we have a mud. So we're going to be pushing up 1 in the mud, and now they have 2 markers at the same level. So he's going to be scoring 2 there for finding that mud tile. He's also on a crop of value 1, so he scores 1 point for that. Here we've got another mud, so now he's only got 1 marker at that particular level. So he scores 1 point, and he's got 1 point for the crop he's on. Here we've got another mud, so 1 point for the mud, and he's on a nice value 3 crop there. 1, 2, 3. And then finally he's found sand, and then we've got 2 markers on that space, 1, 2, and he's found another value 1 crop. And that is him all set up. So he actually starts with 18 points. We start with 10, and we're going to be sort of taking it in turns. I'll show you how it works basically, but I'll pop the scenario disc in our fancy little scenario like thingamajiggy here. I don't even know what you want to call it, disc resolver. I'll pop that in, and then we're all ready to get started with the game. Okay, so we're all ready to go. We actually are the first player. We don't technically do a turn for them. They're going to be sort of actioning whenever we're exploring. So on your turn, you have a couple of options that you can do. And actually the solo mode is slightly different to the multiplayer. So usually you will be able to place, move, or remove a meeple from the board. But in this game, it's a little bit different. You can move or place. Once they are on the board, you cannot remove them from the game. So we start with 5 meeples, and we have to decide on what empty space we want to start discovering stuff. So it's quite key, because of this diversification of scoring, what we were just doing there during setup, is quite key to sort of spread out what you're discovering. It's all very well and good, like discovering all of the like grass tiles in a corner, but what you actually want to be doing is sort of discovering a grass and then discovering something different. So you score 2 points for that, and then discovering the third type, score 3 points, and all of that. And it gets quite interesting as you're trying to score those particular areas. So I will sort of talk through my thought process of the first few turns, and then we will speed up as we go. But essentially, we know there's a couple of logic rules that we need to be aware of. So how do I even explain it? So we know here that there is a crop of value 4 on this grassland tile. Every area of a particular terrain type never has the same numbered crop in it. So for example, we know for certain that this grassland area is going to be of at least size 4, because it has a 4 in it. So that means the area has to have a crop of size 1, 2, 3, and 4. We don't know whether it's going to be size 4 or 5, so we'll have to figure that out later. So if I go here or here, I'm almost certainly going to find a grassland tile. So I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to pop my meeple there. And then we have coordinates. So we have a leaf up here and a bird. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this disc, make sure that the windows are closed, and find the leaf by rotating the scenario disc. And then the bird, we've got a little lever at the bottom that we rotate, and we're going to discover what terrain type is by opening this. And actually, I completely lied. We have not found grassland, but that's going to be helpful for us in a minute. We have found some mountainous regions. So I'm assuming that that is going to join up with this one in a minute. So that means I take up 1 on the mountain track. I score 1 point for that. And I place a mountain tile. Normally you just place it like this in a multiplayer game, but in the solo game, we're going to flip it, make sure it's orientated. So the north, here you go, you've got the little symbol here, which tells you which way you're meant to be pointing it. So we have got a blue arrow here. So let's place you there. When it's a blue arrow, that means that the blue meeple for the opponent is going to move. So he's moving that direction. So here he is, he's going to come around this way, and he's off the board. If you can see, there are some like dotted lines, and that's where the automa meeples are going to be moving. So they're going to be weaving in and out of the board. They're never going to fall off. So he's going to be coming around here and stopping on this empty space and discovering both the crop and the terrain as to where he lands. So he's going to be speeding the game along. The game end is triggered when the last terrain tile is revealed. Usually you'd get like a last chance to sort of guess what crop you're on, but in the solo game you do not. So you need to be always aware of where you are in the game. So anyway, he is on space sun bird. So let's find the sun. He's going to find the bird. So we have got a mud area here. So I'm going to place that normally so I know that he's placed this tile. Once again, he has discovered a mud, so he ticks up, gets 1 point for that. And he also discovers the crop, and he's discovered a nice size 3 crop there. So we pop that one there. 1, 2, 3 he has discovered. And that was through revealing this thing here. You've got a tiny little window where it says number 3. Then just close it again. Now on my turn, I have 2 choices. Well, 3 choices really. I can start to decide to divine, which is where I logically deduce what crop is on any of my tiles without crop tiles. So I could deduce what this is if I wanted to. Or I could place a new meeple somewhere on the board, or I could move him. Now, I want to try and get a different type of terrain. It would be really good to try and get mud. There's lots of mud going on, so maybe I'll try and get some mud. So I'm going to come in here at this side of the board, and I'm going to discover what moon turtle is. Moon turtle is mud. Good, that's what we wanted. And where's my mud? There. And I score 2 points for that. And the yellow meeple is coming down. So the yellow meeples can move through us. In a multiplayer game, they cannot. We block each other. But he's going to ignore me. He's going to come straight through and have a look at what is under the star turtle. So we've got star turtle. He has found some more mud. We're nearly out of mud, actually. So 1 point for him there. And he has stood on a crop number 2. 1, 2. So that potentially means, as well as so going into the logic rules a little bit more, you can only ever have terrain sizes between 1 to 5 because there's going to be a crop on each of the spaces, and you can never have duplicates of the same crop there. And we've only got 5 types of crop, so maximum of space number 5. So this could be here. I could be sat on a number 4 crop here, or this could be a group of 5. We don't quite know yet. But it could be worth me staying there, because if I manage to guess at some point that that is a crop number 4 or a 5, and that's right, I get 4 or 5 points, so it might be worth me staying there. Terrain types of the same type cannot be adjacent to each other. So for example, this group of 5 grassland, when we've revealed it, we will not be able to have, say it was like covering this sort of area, we would not be able to have a grassland of size 1 in this tile, because it's going to be adjacent to other types of grassland, and that also captures diagonals as well. And then the final rule is about adjacency of crops. You can never have the same value crop adjacent to each other, even if it's diagonal. So I know for certain that a crop value 1 is not going to be here, here, or here. So using those lots of logic rules there, you can slowly deduce what crops are everywhere and what terrain types are everywhere and score lots of points. So anyway, we are back to my turn. I really want to find some sand. So sand or grassland. So some grassland's going to be around here. So let's come here. We're going to be grabbing some water lizard. Water lizard. It's grass. Good. So, yellow's moving again. So we've got some grass. Where's grass? So we've got 3 points. 1, 2, 3. And then yellow meeple is moving down. So he's going to come through here. He's going to come off the board and then back up here. So he's going to be discovering moon llama. So all the time he's discovering is actually going to be helping us in the long run. But he is scoring points. So we need to sort of balance. This is sand. Balance like how fast we move the game along. Sand. So that's good. He's not doing very well in this diversification. Oh no. And he's sat on a crop of value 5. Ouch, ouch, ouch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what? I played a game of this last night and he sat on value 5 crops 3 times out of the 4 that were available in the game. And so he scored 15 points from that alone. It was a really bad game. Anyway, so that's interesting. So that means that this is likely going to be sand as well, probably coming over here. We just don't quite know. So it could be worth me trying to get a meeple in somewhere, trying to find the value 4 crop to stand on. I do really want to find sand now. So shall I go over here? Star bird. I always sound so stupid playing this game, like talking to myself. I'm like, I'm sat on starboard. Good, we found sand. That's perfect. Rotate that around. Yellow's moving again. So that means we've got 4 points there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very nice. And yeah, yellow is moving up here. That's actually not too bad because hopefully he'll have a value 2 or something. He's probably found the 4. He's on moon lizard. Moon lizard. Yeah, sand. And then 1 point for him. And he is sat on value 3. Interesting. Okay. 1, 2, 3. So that means I'm either sat on a value 2 or a value 4. I just don't quite know which one yet. All right. I've got one more meeple left. I think I'm going to try and we're back at equal levels in here. So we're only going to be scoring 1 point no matter what terrain type we find now. So, and we're getting a little bit low on the mud. We've only got 3 mud tiles that are available in the game now. And we know for certain one of them's over here. Probably, potentially one of them's over here. So all of this area is unlikely to be mud. Okay. So let's actually stick someone over here so we're out the way of everyone. Or actually, shall I start coming over here? Because there's going to be a lot better choice of me actually figuring out stuff over here. Yes, I think that might be a better option. Yeah, actually, I'm going to go here. So that is going to be cloudy bird. Cloudy bird. Mud. Okay, that's fine. We sort of knew that that was a real possibility. So mud. And what was it? Green is moving up. So green is my color. If I am playing easy, I ignore it. So I just get a free pass. I am not going to ignore it. We're going to try it on the harder difficulty today. I did lose when I played on the harder difficulty last night, so it'll be interesting to see whether we can get a win today. I get to choose one of the opponent meeples to move in that direction, north. So, what do we want? Ideally, we'd like him to find some mud because then we know for certain. Yeah, let's move this one, I think. That's risky because he could be finding another. Oh, interesting. A value 5 is not going to be there. Actually, then we know for certain that this is going to be a value 4. I'm on a 4 here because a 5, if this was another value, size 5 mud area, mud could be there, but that wouldn't be a 5. Oh, I could be on a 5 though, couldn't I? Oh, interesting. Sorry, I'm talking rubbish. All right, let's move him up. He's finding cloudy snake. Cloudy snake is mountain. Okay. So he's scoring 2. And he's found a crop of value 2. So, interesting. All right, so I've got all my meeples out on the board now. So that's it for me of placing. They're on there for the rest of the game. I think I want to try and figure out if this is going to be a size 5 mud area. So movement rules. I'm unable to move through their meeples. I have to stop on an empty space and I can change direction at any point if I hit a crop tile. So for example, I can now move with this one, I can move here, here, and then here, because I can sort of sit here and I can change direction if I want to, sit here, change direction, and I can go there, but I have to stop there. So I think I'm going to come here, because then I can figure out, and then if I come this way at some point to figure out if this is mud, that will be helpful, I think. Okay, so we've got star snake. I don't know. Star snake is mud. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay, so not doing well on our diversifying. I should have been thinking about that, but that is interesting for us. So this is a 5 and I'm on a 4 up there. Oh, interesting. Very nice. Okay, we need to make sure that we've got somebody sat there then so they don't get those points. So nude person is going left. Where's nude? He's here. He's coming this way and figuring out what is there. So we got leafy lizard. Oh, I've gone past leafy. Leafy lizard is mountain. Mountain there. 1 point for you. Please don't be something big. A size 2. That's fine. You can have 2 points. All right. We're going to keep you there. You're on a nice 4. I wonder if I can start to half figure out what I'm on. I want to try and divine. When you are divining, you are basically saying what value tile you think you are stood on. And if you are right, you are placing the tile and scoring that number of points. So I might score 5 points if I guess I'm stood on a value 5 tile. But if I am wrong, I still place the tile, but I lose points according to what value tile I'm actually stood on. So if I guessed it was a 5 and it was actually a 1, I lose 1 point. And if you are incorrect, that also stops you from doing more as well. In the solo game, however, you are forced to keep going. So you are always, if you are wrong and you've already lost some points, you are at risk of potentially like losing more, like the more divinations you do, but you are forced to do so. Anyway, I want to try and keep him there then. I know that we've only got 1 tile left. So I reckon this is a size 5 as well, you know. I reckon it is. So I think I'm going to try and get some of my meeples involved in this direction. So if I move over here, do I want mountain? Yeah, mountain will be okay. So that's mountainous birdie. Mountainous birdie is mountain. Yeah, we knew that. And then 1 point there. And white is moving up. Good, get out the way. So you're coming this way and you're actually starting to come along this row now. So that is going to be moony bird. Moon bird is mud. Oh no, I didn't want him to sit there. Oh gosh, okay. Oh well, it's fine. He's going to be on the 5, isn't he? He's not, he's on a 2. Oh, that means I'm on the 5. Oh, exciting. Okay. All right. I don't know whether to just make some guesses then at this point, because I know I'm on a nice big fat 5 over there. I'm on a big fat 4 over here. What am I on here? That's either going to be a 2 or a 4. It's not a 2, so I'm on a 4 over there. Interesting. Another layer to this game as well is that you have these little tokens here. Basically, when you correctly guess a value crop, you take one of these tiles. So if I correctly guessed that a 4 was somewhere, I would take this one because this one is the 4 color. you can trade those in at the end of a successful divination to get extra points. So if I have, you can't see it on here, but there's a little table at the side of the board. But basically, if I trade in one of the tokens to the goddess as a donation or a offering, you get 0 extra points. But if you get all the way to 5 different types of the tokens, if you've done every single one of the types, you can get an extra bonus 10 points. So on top of all of what I've already just talked about, I'm also trying to be aware of when I divine, I ideally, as much as possible, want to try and be finding all the different types of crops. So it's all very well me being sitting on a 4 over here, but I'm also sat on a 4 potentially over here as well. So that means I'm going to be wasting that opportunity to get the number 4 tile, like bonus offering tile, at a later time. Anyway, let's try and keep moving. We want this blue person to get a move on, really. And I am not moving off that spot. I'm not moving off that spot at all. And it could just be a risk that I divine and hope for the best. But I don't think it's worth it right now. Okay, we're going to continue down here with this guy. Watery llama. Watery llama is grass. Good. That's what we wanted. So we got grass. And that's 2 points for us. And then the blue guy is moving left. Yes, that's what we want. Get out of the way. So he's coming along here, coming along this way. Oh, is he going to be sat on a 5? Mountainous lizard. Mountain lizard. Oh God, he's found mountain as well. There's so many 5s in this game. Right, mountain. So he gets 2 points for that. He's found a 4. So I potentially sat on another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang on, let's think about it. Where could a 3 be? I don't know at this point. I'm either sat on a 3 or a 5, and I want both of those. Interesting. Is it worth me trying at this point? I don't think so. This is really interesting. I've never had it where I was quite so certain about so many crops that I was stood on. Okay, I think I want to move one of these guys. So I can get the 4 at a later time. I don't know what I'm stood on over there. So I'm going to leave you. I'm going to move this guy. Is that worth it? 1, 2. Yes, it is. Because now what's going to happen is I have to activate this yellow arrow. This guy's going to come down here. He's traveling up here. I think that's potentially going to be sand. Starry llama. Be interesting if it's not sand. Star llama is sand, but that should be a 2. Sand. That should be a 2. Yeah. So that means I'm stood on a 4 up there. I'm stood on a 5 here. I'm stood on a 5 there. I'm not moving you. What am I stood on here? Either a 3 or a 5. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I really want the 3. Okay, we're going to continue this way for a minute. Leafy llama. Leafy llama, grass. Oh God, these areas are so big. Oh, it's making me nervous. I also didn't really want grass. 2 points. And green is moving. So that means I can choose somebody to move up. This could be good for us. So you could be coming over here. That could be good because I've got no idea what's here right now. Could be mountain. Ideally, we want him to find grass. Is anyone going to be likely to find grass? Actually, let's move this guy because then he can come out the way. But then he's potentially finding a value 5 crop, which isn't very good. I don't want him to do that. Let's move this guy because we know for certain that that is not a value 5 crop there. That is Cloudy Llama. Mountain. Oh, value 1. Thank you. That's what we like. That's what we like. Does that help us at all? Not really. Next, go. Oh my gosh. So I know for certain that I'm not on a 2 here. I know then that this green area is a size 5 because a 2 cannot go here, here, or here. So the 2 is either here, here, or here. Which means I'm either stood on a 1, a 3, or a 5. We're going to move this way. Mountain Llama. Is sand. This is quite a stressful game. Sand, so there, 2 points for you. And nude guy is going down. Where's nude guy? That's fine, sort of. It'll be interesting to see what this is. Sand, I reckon, maybe? Leafy snake. Leafy snake is mountain. Oh, I didn't anticipate that. Okay, mountain. This could help us though. And that's a value 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I think I might go for it. Oh no, I don't want to go for it yet. Hold on. That's a 2. So where's 3? 3 is there. Where's 4 up there? 5. So these are 1 and 5. That's a big gamble. 1 and 5. Oh, I'm not going to be able to guess that. I don't think it's worth me doing that. So I want to get him out of the way. I want this blue person to move out the way. What's this? 1, 2. That's 3. So I'm stood on a 3. That's another 5. Okay, we're going to continue. We want to stay around this area. Fire llama. I don't know when to do it. I just want to get my meeples in a place where I'm not going to be losing potentially 5 points. Sand. That's good. I've got a nice load of points from that. So that's 3. 1, 2, 3. And purple guy's going down here, coming here. And that is rainbow turtle. Rainbow turtle is sand as well. 2 points. And he's found a value 3 crop. Right. I think potentially if I could get this guy sat on something that I know for certain, or if I could get him out the way and not worry about him for a second, I can divine. So let's move him off. Let's go here. Fire turtle, because then that's going to put us in a good position, I think. Fire turtle is sand. Sand. Could do with finding some mountain. And then green guy. So that's me. Perfect. Oh, we can get him out the way now. Do we want him out the way? Yes. Let's move that little bugger out the way. Yeah. Yeah. Let's get you out the way. Rainbow. It's probably a 5, isn't it? Rainbow lizard. Rainbow lizard is grass. Okay, so it joins up with this one. Oh, he's way behind on his grass. And a 2. That's good. We can cope with that. Okay, I think we're going to divine. Oh, shall I? Let's have a look. So up here, we know we're sat on a value 1, 2. That's a 3. So I'm going to use these to remember what I've got so far. That's going to be a 3. This is, I don't know what that is yet. It's not a 1. It could be a 2. It could not be a 3. It's not a 4. But it could be a 5. So that's not great to guess right now. So maybe I will do a bit more moving with this guy. Should I move a bit more with this guy? This is going to be grass. That's grass. Or it could actually be mountain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's likely to all be grass. Oh no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's potentially sand then? I don't know. Bit risky, isn't it? All right, we're not going to divine right now. We are coming down here. No, we're not. We're going to come here. So that's Sunshine Llama. Oh, Sunshine Llama is grass, which is good. Grass, 2 points. And purple guy is moving. So he's coming here, which is rainbow snake. Rainbow snake, which is sand. Sand. And he's found a crop of value 4. Ouch, ouch. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's reevaluate again. So I'm on a value 3 up there. Let's do these guys. So I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4 up there. Here I'm on a 5, I believe. 1, 2, 3. Yep, 5 can't be there, so that has to be there. This guy, 1. Have I already done you? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm on a 5 up there as well. I wonder if I could move him. I need a 1 and a 2, funnily enough. So that's not going to be a 1 or a 2. I think I'm just going to have to ignore him and still get the 5 points. No, what's this one going to be? So 1 is not going to be there or there. So I'm likely on a 1 here. Where's 3? 3 is not going to be there. 3 could be here. I think it is worth the risk right now. So when we divine, we basically just say what we think it is. So we're going to start up here. So this is going to be 1, 2. This is on a 3. So mountain birdie is a 3. Ooh, mountain birdie is a 3. Good. So we place the 3. We get 3 points. 1, 2, 3. And we take the tile of value 3 and keep it with us for now. And we have to divine with every single one of our meeples. Stress. So let's do this guy. We're on 1, 2, 3, 4. We're on a 5. So cloudy birdie is a 5. Cloudy birdie is a nice big fat 5 points, which is a shame really. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because I sort of wanted to keep that one for a bit. This one is 1, 2, 3. That's a 4. So star birdie is 4. Is a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, yeah, unfortunately we're going to have to do this one as well. So this one is also a 5. So that's Moony Turtle is a 5. Yeah, 5. So you go there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we don't get a second token. So moment of truth. Sunshine Llama. What do we reckon? So if these two are grass, which they are likely to be, oh no, that is sand. That is sand because we got 1, 2, 3. That's a 4 sand. Interesting. That's 4 sand. I'm going to be naughty and like visualize it. So this is not number 1. So that has to be a 3. No, we're on a 1. That's 3. Oh, Sunshine Llama is a 1. Sunshine Llama is a 1. I hope I've probably just done that completely wrong. Sunshine Llama is a 1. Yes, yes, we did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. So then we get that token. And where's my 5th one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's because we did 2 5s. Okay, so that was actually a really good turn. And they don't do anything after this. We just go straight back into like an exploration, so we can move again. And we can choose if we want to trade these 4 tokens that we got in for 6 extra points. I'm going to really try and get a number 2 in a second to then trade in for 10 points. So where do we reckon a number 2 is? This is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a 5. So we do want to go and get him in a minute, but not right now. We just need to be worrying about whether or not they're going to sit there, which they won't actually. Oh, do I want to discover sand then? Ideally, I want to discover mud, but we're completely out of mud. What about mountain? I don't think there's much mountain to discover over there. I don't think there's anything that I can work out as a 2. Oh yeah, this down here is a 2, but I can't get there. It's going to take me 2 turns. Is it worth it? That's a lot of points. Oh, how can I find another 2? What about this sand? Let's come down here. Fire Snaky. Fire Snaky is mountain. Oh, I didn't anticipate that. That's good though, because then I get 2 points for that. And then purple's going right. Where's purple? Here. So he's going this way and this way. Sunny turtle. Sunny turtle is sand. There. 1 point. Oh, what do we reckon? A 2. I wanted the 2. So what does that mean for us? That means I'm probably on... Oh, interesting. So this is going to be a group of at least 4 mountains, because this cannot be a 1 because of this. This cannot be a 2. We've got a 3 over there. So this is a 4 again. I'm going to use that there. Right, hang on. That's a 4. Where is this 2 in this? So sand is here or here. Nope, that's grass. That's sand, which is a 1. So we do still have that's going to be a size 4 then, isn't it? So 3 is not here or here. So 3 is there, which means 1 is here, which means 2 is there. I've got it, I think. Let's move you and you. Okay, so that means green is going this way, which means I can choose who's going that way. Which means what? What's here then? That's going to be sand. If I'm on a 2, this is a 1, which means this is a 4. I don't want him to go that way. Which means I don't want him to go that way because he's going to loop in. What about him? He can go there. That's going to be a 1, 2. That's a 4 as well. I don't think I've got a lot of choice here. They're always going to be doing a 4. Okay. Well, what's going to be worse? Oh, they're both mountain as well. Let's do this one. So that's, what is it? Cloudy lizard. Cloudy lizard is grass, which we sort of knew. I can't remember what my train of thought has been doing now. Maybe I said it was mountain. It's not. And then we've got a 4, which we knew. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. I'm going to divine. Am I divining? I don't know what I'm doing with that guy over there. I think we're divining. Let's divine. So this guy, I'm on a space of... We know that this does not have a 1, 2, 3. We're on 4 here. So we're going to try it. Fiery snake is a 4. Fiery snake is a 4, which we knew. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that means I think this is a 2. So it can't be a 1, can't be a 3, can't be a 4. So I'm going to say 2. So fiery lizard is a 2. Yes, I found the 2. Oh my gosh, I did. And that means I get this token. I'm going to trade all of these in again for 10 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, yes. That means it's my turn again. So we can get going on some of the tiles that we already know about. So I'm going to come here. Let's think about this. Nude guy. He's going that way. That's fine. I'm going to go here. Nude guy is going to go here. So that's watery snake. Is grassland. That's me. And he's found a crop for value 2. He's finding a lot of the 2s. And then, so what am I stood on? 1, 2, 3. I'm on a 4. So I should have that. I need everything else. So what's this? This is going to be 1, 2. That's a 3. So let's get you out of this sticky situation. You can come down here. I think that's pretty good. So that's rainbow llama. Rainbow llama is grass. Grass. And purple's moving up. So you're coming this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, and back round, and back round, and back round, and he's stopping there. So that is mountain snaky. Mountain snaky. So you are finding mountain, of course. And 2 points for that. And he's on a 2. So we're getting towards the end of the game, so we have to hurry up. So I have now got that's 1, 2. I've got a 3 that I'll be able to get. We want a 1. Where's the 1? 1 is not here, so 1 is here. So is there anything better that I can do? I need a 5. So where's 5 here? So that is, where's your 1? That's 1. So 1 is not there. 1 is there or there. 2, where's 3? 3 is here. 4 is here. So that is 5. So, oh, that's not me. I'm going to come this way, and that is my 5. Which means green is going up. So I can choose who's moving up. Let's do this guy. That could be a 5 though that we're going on to. Let's do this guy then. He's coming around this way. Oh, yeah. fiery turtle. Oh, fiery turtle. We're stood on sand. Sand. Where's the sand up there? And he's found a crop of value 1. I wanted the 1 as well, really. So I need a 1 and a 2. So a 1 is here. Nude person goes down. Where's nude person? You're going there. So that is going to be watery turtle. Watery turtle is mountain. Right at the end, guys. Right at the end. 1 point for you. Oh, don't do that. And then, oh no, he's found a 5. Oh, you little. That could have cost me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sugar puffs. Okay. I don't think there's anything I can do now apart from divine. And the reason is, if I move to discover one of these, he's going to move as well and discover that, which triggers the end of the game, and I can't divine again. And this is a 5 because we've got 1 more sand and 1 more mountain, and this is a 1. And the only guy that I could move is this guy. I wonder. What's this? 1, 2. That's a 3. I mean, if I could get him there, that would be pretty good. And that would mean purple would be moving down, which would mean he'd be going up. Oh, hang on. I've lost it. Where is he? Purple would be going down. Let's do it slowly. Going up, that way, down, that way, up, that way, down, that way, up, that way, then that way, then that way, then that way. He'd be discovering the 5. So the only thing that I would want to do is have nude move this way or up, and there's no nudes. Okay, we're going to divine. We're divining. So let's start with leafy llama. Leafy llama is what? Am I on a 1? What's this? That's not a 1 or a 2. So I'm stood on a 1 here. Let's do you first then. So mountain llama is a 1. Mountain llama is a 1. That's a good start. Good start. We can go start somewhere. And then that means you're not a 1, you're not a 2 or 3, you're a 5. So leafy llama is a 5. Leafy llama is a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not sure we're going to have enough to push him. I'm not sure we can beat him. And then this guy here is 1, 2. This is a 3. So rainbow llama is a 3. Rainbow llama is a 3. And then, 1, 2, 3. Don't forget my points. And then you are, what are you? You're a 1, 2, 3. You're a 4. So star snake is a 4. Star snake is a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my divination. My final turn. So if I move here, that's going to block him from getting the 5. What's that? That's a 1. So this is a 5. So yeah, if I come down here, that's mountainous. Oh, did I want to? Hold on. I wanted to trade these in now. So that's 6 points that I get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think I can push that anymore. So yeah, if I come down here, that is mountain turtle. Mountain turtle is sand. So sand goes up, get 2 points for you. And that triggers yellow to move to the right. So yeah, if we were playing on easy, you're going that way, that way, that way, that way, that way, that way, that way. Here we go. If we were playing on easy, I think we would have managed to do it because we would have been able to control a little bit more about where they went, or they wouldn't have moved quite so quickly because we're very close. And they are discovering, oh, we don't even need to do it, do we? They're discovering the mountain. Mountain for 2 points. And then they've got a value 1 there. Wow, okay. So that triggers the end of the game. In a multiplayer game, you would be able to divine with one of your meeples once. So, for example, this guy is going to be set on a nice value 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It still wouldn't have been enough. But that ends the turn here. That ends the entire game for the solo. They have ended up with 101 points, and I've ended up with 93. So that isn't bad at all, actually. Not too bad anyway. I've seen some people have massive scores on the internet, but I'll just ignore them. But anyway, that is Tiwanaku. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. It was very tense. And I will be back in a moment where I go through my final thoughts on the game. So just sharing some final thoughts on Tiwanaku. This is a game that I saw back when it was being crowdfunded a couple of years ago, and it really caught my eye because I love colours in games. This is a very vibrant looking game, and also like the idea of a logic puzzle really intrigued me. I had not played like a logic-y type board game whilst that was being crowdfunded, so that was automatically quite interesting to me. I do like Sudoku and things like that, so that sort of seemed to tick all the same parts of the brain. I tried to play it online, or in terms of I tried to read the rules online, and I think there was like a tabletop simulator type version of it, and I am awful at learning and enjoying games online. So I got about halfway through a game and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing and I don't get it and I don't like reading the rules, so I just stopped and I didn't end up backing it. And it was on my mind for the last few years. Is one that I have kept my eye out on like social media for, in terms of like people talking about it. I haven't seen a single person ever mention this game ever, and I'm really surprised because I actually feel that this is a really fabulous solo and 2-player game. I think this is so crunchy and puts such a great emphasis on like timing of your turns and exactly what you're doing, and you're constantly thinking and engaged the whole time, that I just think it plays really, really well. Now, the first time that I actually played this one, I was a little bit underwhelmed in the first half of the game because I didn't quite understand the full scope of what I was doing. So, of course, you're like placing your meeples and moving them around, and you're just, being like, oh, I found some grass. Yippee, I scored 2 points. And doing that for like 20 minutes or so definitely was a little bit strange, especially when you're playing solo. So there was no like back and forth between players anyway. I was a bit confused as to where the excitement and crunch came into this game. And obviously the whole like crunch of it does come into the divination where you are deciding on the crops that you're stood on. So that part of the game was always going to be exciting, but the first bit I was a bit confused at, and I didn't quite understand why they would design the game for that area to take so long. But it wasn't until my like second and third plays of this game that the diversification of the the terrain tiles that you are finding is so essential to the game. It can be scoring you probably about a third, maybe a half of your points that you are finding throughout the game, and it's essential to try and time that correctly and figure out where they're going to be or where they're most likely going to be. And I found that was a really interesting part of the game. This sort of feels like this game is in 2 separate sections. You've got your slightly more chill first half of the game where you are diversifying in the terrain tiles and scoring your points there until the pressure like mounts up and up and up as you are then divining and doing both at the same time. It really sort of eases you in slowly, lures you into a false sense of security before you are thrown into, I am trying to diversify, time the game so it doesn't trigger too quickly the end of the game, as well as try and make sure you are diversifying in your crops that you are finding, as well as juggling when to divine, because you have to do them all at the same time. It's a really, really interesting balance, and you have got a lot of things to think about at one time on your turn. So yeah, although this was a bit of a funny game to play from the first play, once you sort of realize the importance of the diversifying of your terrain tiles, it then sort of comes into its own. I was also initially a little bit worried about purchasing the retail version of the game because, from my understanding, the Kickstarter version of the game has a number of different extra scenarios you can play. So I think there may be, I don't know if there's 10 or 15 more different scenarios that you can play. There's 15 in the box. Have I got 15? Let me check. Hold on. 20 scenario discs comes with the retail edition, but I believe 5 of those 15 are the short scenarios that you cannot use for solo or cooperative. So 20 altogether, but 15 you can play solo. And so I was a little bit worried about the replayability of this and whether or not I would be able to, I might get through 7 scenarios and then be like, oh, I don't really want to ever play those again. I am not worried about that in the slightest. I hardly remember where my meeple was standing, no matter 3 months down the line when I replay the same number scenario, what was where, unless you've got a really good photographic memory or something like that, or something significant happens in your game where you have a big moment of joking around and it's really burned into your brain. You're not going to remember. And so I'm not worried about retail versus the Kickstarter edition. I understand that there's wooden tiles for the crops, but I did hear some people say that they were difficult to distinguish color-wise, and so I was absolutely more than happy to go with the retail edition, and it is beautiful. Everything is so vibrant. Unfortunately, one of my terrain tiles did arrive and the printing of it had come off. It was absolutely fine in terms of it wasn't bent or anything. It just, the top layer had popped off the cardboard. So I just dabbed a little tiny bit of Pritt stick on it and stuck it on it, and it's been absolutely fine since. I can't even tell which one of the tiles it was. So in terms of component quality, it is really, really good, very high. I was a little worried as well about the actual the disc and whether or not this would be hardy enough by the time you've slotted your scenario in and out multiple times. I haven't found any wear or tear at the moment. I did have to do some modifications to the little plastic stopper that goes in the middle. My husband just tidied the edge of that up so there was less wear going into the actual cardboard. If you just tidy that up and get rid of some of the excess plastic, that just reduces the amount of friction that's going to go be wearing away on your cardboard, but I haven't got any issues with that at the moment as well. So overall, component wise, this is really good. So, a lot of positive things to say about this game. The overall gameplay of this is just so immersive. I just find that although it is a much heavier experience than Turing Machine, with Turing Machine, it's quite nice to have a logic puzzle where you are literally sat down for 10 to 15 minutes maximum. But this is a good half an hour, 45 minute, maybe an hour if you're really thinking about it, experience. And so it is a lot more in depth. But even though the first half of the game is a little bit lighter in terms of you're not doing too much logical thinking, you are still immersed the whole time, and you really do need to pay attention. And so I think that is a really essential thing to a game a lot of the time, and especially when you're playing multiplayer as well. You are so involved with what that other person is doing, where they're standing. It just becomes like a power struggle. It really does. I also really like in this game the automa, or it's not really an automa, it's just the solo mode and how they work and its implementation, because essentially in a game like this, you are not going to be wanting to pull yourself out of your own game. There are games that you can sort of cope with that in, where you can simulate a whole extra opponent, and they're gaining this, gaining that, activating this, and it doesn't matter too much that you then have to sort of reevaluate the situation on your turn about what you were doing and what your whole plan was. It's annoying for some people, and I absolutely understand that, but it's not too bad. This is a game that you absolutely do not want to lose your trail of thought in, especially if you have deduced and you're not using pen and paper. I understand you can use pen and paper, but it's not something that I like to do. I like to try and work it out each and every time. You're going to want to keep your head in the game and know exactly what's going on at all times. So the ease at which this is run is really nice. The fact that you are just placing a tile and literally moving the coloured meeple along these little trails, it's predictable, so you can plan that extra aspect for it as well. But it's over so quickly and you don't have to worry about too much other than scoring their their points. So for ease of play, it's really, really top notch and brilliant. I really, really rate this as a solo game. I think it is a very interesting and unique theme. And just the gameplay is really, really simple and smooth and creates a very tight, exciting experience for the whole hour. You are so engrossed. Then talking about the two-player experience as well, I actually think I prefer it two-player to solo, even though I've just said that I really enjoy it solo. The two-player version is so tense, and it's just so exciting because there are very slightly different rules that you don't have to divine with all of your meeples if you don't want to and things like that. So it's a little bit slightly different in the tactical side, but I was playing with my husband a few days ago and he just had a knack in that game for sitting on the 5 and 4 tiles. We didn't even know at that point in the game they were 5s and 4s. He just had a feeling that they were, and he was right. So I could see, I had worked out from what I was doing that he was sat on a 5, and I was hoping that he was not sure. And so I was just watching him feel like, I really need that 5. Like, can you move? And he wasn't moving. And it was just so exciting to try and have that balance of trying to push to find my own 5 somewhere else on the board, as well as to maybe, like keep discovering things next to him or keep away from him maybe. So he had to take that risk and divine himself over his side of the board. And there's always that interesting like curve at the beginning of the game where you are both, minding your own business and discovering little tiles. Somebody has got to be the first one to divine. And that moment, you were always like waiting. It's like, are you going to divine this 10? Are you going to divine this 10? And hoping that they do. So hopefully they are going to be like taking a bit of a risk and minusing points from them. But it's always really exciting when you are taking that risk and the risk pays off. And it's just a bit of a balance on that respect as well, because then you're giving more information to the person you're playing with. It's just so many different layers, and it was a bit unexpected to how much I like it. It works so well and is a bit of a hidden gem, I feel. I cannot believe that people don't talk about it. People should talk about it, and I got this for quite a good price as well. And I'm just over the moon that I have got this one in my collection. I'm so happy. The only thing that I didn't particularly like about this game, as usual, is the rule book. I do feel like they could have fleshed it out a little bit more with a bit more clarification. It's a little bit confusing when they were talking about the movement as well. So I've just had to do a few rule checks again. Like the meeples will only like stop on like a clear space, an empty space, but you can choose to stop on a space with no crop tile. And you can change direction only when you hit a meeple or a crop. And I was just like, that doesn't sit in my brain very well. And it wasn't explained brilliantly. And on top of that, the solo mode wasn't explained perfectly either. They could have used a few more examples. And again, they didn't clarify that the solo mode doesn't start with the 10 points that you would usually do. And so I actually played a game yesterday where I'd scored 10 more points than they'd scored 10 more points when they should have. I still lost when I minus them. But I was like, wow, that gap of points is quite large. And I did then Google it and found that it was a mistake. It should have been in the rulebook. So much like most board games you come across, the rulebook does let it down a little bit. It also doesn't really explain to you how to put the scenario disc in. It just goes, insert it into the dial and off you go. And I'm like, well, which way do I insert it? I could have assumed one way or another. And I was also a bit like, do I literally take this this plastic thing apart? Is that going to make the whole thing fall apart? It doesn't say anywhere. And so I did also search for that because I didn't like to try and start to dismantle the dial and break it before I started the game. Just feel like it could have been one sentence being like, take the screw out the dial and then pop it in this way with this facing the front. Easy, but they don't. And to just finish off, I also really like the idea of collecting the tiles that you can then trade in for additional points, like these little things that we were collecting during the game. So every time you discover a different type of tile or a different type of crop, you gain that particular color in crop tile. And the levels are on the side of the board. So if you trade in just one token, you get 0 points. If you trade in 2 different tokens, you get 1. Then up to 3, 6, and the final, if you trade in all 5 different types of crop tile, you get 10 extra points. I really, really like that because you are always trying to get that push for the 10 points. I haven't figured out yet whether it's always necessarily the best thing to do that. And it's just it just adds another layer to this already fabulous logic puzzle. And yeah, I can't gush about this game enough. I'm so surprised at how good it is, considering nobody talks about it. And it's never seen anywhere. I've not even seen it for sale anywhere either. And I think more people should play it. It's a really wonderful theme as well. And I don't want to talk about things I don't understand, but it's based on real people. So it's like Pachamama, which is Mother Earth, guiding the Quechua people. Quechua? Yeah, I don't know. Andean goddess, basically. And so it's just a wonderful, rich theme. And it just makes me so happy. The look of it, the gameplay, the theme. Wow, what a game. So I'm going to leave that there because honestly, there's not too much to go into. Fabulous logic puzzle that plays really smoothly, really clearly, really good time. Solo and multiplayer. I'm not sure how it would play 3 to 4 player. I can imagine that it gets a little bit hectic when somebody has a bit of analysis paralysis or a bad memory like me. And, you've already worked out 3 times that this tile you're on has got a crop value 3. But because you're a little bit stressed, you've forgotten again and you have to have everyone wait for you while you work it out again. I can imagine it's a little bit frustrating unless you were all very evenly matched. But solo and 2 player, this is top notch. And I would love for more people to talk about it. So thank you very much for watching my playthrough today of Tiwanaku. Do let me know in the comments down below if you have played this game and what you think of it, because I really want to talk about it more with people. But thank you very much for watching anyway, and have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.